So lunchtime, so I'll be concise, hopefully, and all that. I'm going to talk about technology design and a way for a better future. It's actually great that I'm right after the Smart City panel. The agency I'm heading is called NewDealDesign, and we deal with strategic technology design, which is essentially amalgamation of physical, digital design, plus a bit of strategy and a lot of execution at the back end of it. As was mentioned, you could see some of our work with Google Ara phone that is slowly getting to market. We've done a lot of work with Fitbit from day one and designed all their products, including the latest products that were just introduced this year to quite a lot of success. And my biggest challenge now when I'm dreaming at night on the next evolution of design is what's going to happen with our society and technology coming together or not. The situation is that typically people think about technology as some kind of a bubble next to society, but in reality, technology is really woven into everything around us, and it's going to basically become more and more of that situation. And the biggest challenge we have as society, in my opinion, is how we mix culture, technology, and society the right way. And I really want to emphasize that, and I'll take some cue from a discussion that was just made here. So we're dealing with a whole sections of design, dealing a lot with the self and objects that are on ourselves or inside our body. We're dealing with things that are around us, and it could be a car, it could be the office, and so on. And there are things that are bigger constructs that are dealing with cities and societal, as well as things that are quite emotional and very intimate to us, like the family. Now, what you see on the screen here when I'm putting this together, I am putting a lot of effort to understanding the social constructs, not only the technological or physical construct. And this is really important to understand why waiting for 2 minutes extra won't happen. Why sharing a car with a stranger won't happen. And the reason it won't happen is because I have a 17-year-old daughter, and I don't want her to share a car with a drunk man at night. So this is something to really emphasize the importance of understanding social constructs next to technological or physical constructs. So I'll start with few projects that we've done lately that are slowly, by baby steps, trying to mitigate the distance between humans and technology. And then I'll talk about the main topic, which is the autonomous things. This is Dojo, which is a project that just got out about 6 months ago. And it's dealing with IoT security at home. Which is a very daunting task. Most people have dozens of devices already talking to the internet one way or another. And the big question is, how do you, as a homeowner, as someone who wants to protect your family, who wants to understand where all these bits and bytes of data are going, how are you going to relate to this topic? And we created an object that has 2 parts. One of them is a pebble that has some illumination cues that alerts you when things go wrong. And the other part, which is to me the main part, is a conversational UI, user interface, that is basically chatting with you. Dojo is a persona and actually recommends you what to do if things go bad. The white box will be relegated to the cabinet somewhere, you won't see it, but the pebble will be around the living room, and if something goes wrong, it will flash red and will call your attention, and the chat will tell you what you're supposed to do or just ignore it. Another project, we're dealing a lot with medical products, and this is the next generation of sensory technology, which is coming in form of patches. So this is a thermometer for babies. One of the biggest problems with maintaining control over fever with babies is that you do it periodically, and in between, you could have immense spikes. And this is a continuous monitoring by a company called VivaLink, and it allows you to really get alerts and actually being woken up if the baby's fever goes above a certain level. We have an app with that, but a lot of it is in the little details. For instance, convincing the kid to actually have it, and some of it is actually showing him that there is a little face there that has, 3 dots, and that's something that convinces him to play with it. The last project that is in process is called Hibiki, which is dealing with a huge problem most technologies don't like to deal with, which is elderly. Elderly have fundamental problems with touch user interface, and we created a mobile phone that is stripping Android and putting things that are just pictorial. So if you want to talk to your granddaughter, you see the face and you click on it, and it has also an alarm button at the back if you need assistance. So these are the type of problems and dilemmas we have now in society as we deal with technology and how it kind of gets in the face of our culture, our families, and behaviors. It brings me to autonomous things. We're currently working on multiple autonomous things, and the reason I call them things because they come in different sizes. There will be things that are the size of a fist and things that are the size of a massive truck. And they all have a few things in common. The one thing that they have in common, they have some level of I would say, intelligence that allows them to move around. And as they move around, they need to be very watchful over the surroundings. They make decisions on their own. Sometimes these are decisions that we agree with, sometimes we are not. And this is a very new behavior to society and for people around it. And typically, the approach by the geeks and the technologists is that somehow people will adjust. So I want to highlight a few things that are far from being approached by the technologists, and for me are actually critical to design. So designers typically in the car industry are dealing with beauty, and beauty is an amazing power and actually maybe something we need to have as humans. At the same time, it's really just not enough in the next era. We'll have to deal with very complex situations. What you see here is one of the famous Shibuya crossroads, where hundreds and maybe thousands of people are crossing together the street. And what you see is a very unique human behavior that robotics will take, honestly, decades to grow to do it. There is a little tap dancing going on. I call it mingling. People pass each other and with a blink of an eye know what's the other's intent to do, and they adjust. And they also decide when to take risk and run, when to cross not in the lane, and so on and so forth. We make all these decisions without even paying attention. As far as I know, no robot can do that today. These are huge leaps of societal conscious and ability to really navigate ourselves in the space. I'll give you some more examples. So this is Vietnam, and this guy is suicidal. Now, what looks to be impossible is actually sorted out by an ongoing scanning of the eyes of the guys coming at him. He knows whether these guys are going to veer a little bit to the left or not. And that's how he's calculating his moves. The notion of intent is something so specific to humans and something that is so ingrained into the way we view the world and experience the world. This is a huge leap that we need to go through. And this is really relevant when we're dealing with these situations. how would a car understand the intent of a kid next to a crossroad? That's a huge problem. And we need to think about it in a way that the car not only could be passive, it needs to be communicative to the kids, and will need to be able to say something to guide them somewhere along the lines of, hey, this is kind of safe now, I'm giving you the right of way. This is something very human, and we do it, again, without paying too much attention. Now, at the same time, we know how to not pay attention to this guy. This is also very human and very fundamental to our intelligence. At the same time, we better pay attention to her. So these are very complex understandings of how people behave, and they are essential to really become autonomous. Now, one thing that I want to show is how the movie industry dealt with that. It's a famous scene from LA Stories. Too much intent and too much goodwill sometimes lead to that. Now, another element that us as humans take for granted is that we understand exceptions. So these guys are driving in the wrong lane against traffic because there's somebody who's waving a flag and tells them what to do. Not too easy, and as they come across next to the tractor, they'll have to navigate a little bit more gingerly, and will have to be very intelligent in how they maneuver the car. Now, the other element that is very difficult for technologists and the industry to deal with is the diversity. So the technology world by nature tries to create a unified platform end-to-end. However, our solution within this space of transportation are very tailored, and they're dealing with local, societal, and psychological factors, as well as infrastructure, density, and a variety of other elements. The laws of traffic are kind of similar and kind of different in various places. So we will need to figure out how to make cars smart enough to navigate autobahns and at the same time drive in a very dense and very chaotic cities.
Oh, there's cars! Bill, just put me back for me control it. Oh, dear Jesus. I could never. Oh, where's it going? God damn, Bill. Oh, my God. Oh, this is so scary. Oh, Jesus, this is my first day out, and I'm about to die.
Oh, come on, relax.
So that's what happens when you let your mom drive a Tesla in autonomous mode. It's scary. And it is still scary. So anyone who tried it, even for a few seconds, knows that there is this hint of a possibility of not hitting the curve right or not stopping good enough and so on. And it is really daunting. So we need to deal with these issues, not just figuring it out. And again, like I mentioned earlier with the mobile industry, we cannot just ignore half the population. And by the way, there's another phenomenon. We are getting older as society, and we need to deal with that, not to assume everybody is going to be a 25-year-old jock from the Silicon Valley. Now, at the same time, we as humans also crave other things.
All right, Papa, P90D, this is the ludicrous mode, when the light goes green.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Holy shit.
We blocked the cars.
Oh.
Grandma said the same thing.
I almost dropped the phone.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Grandma said the same thing.
Grandma did?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody does, including me.
Holy hell.
My inside.
So people crave fun, and this whole story may be complex, but we really need to make sure that there are some points where people really get excited and really enjoy this technology. Otherwise, it's not going to be a fun world to live with. So with that said, I'm going to show a glimpse of the future. We are now dealing with few things, and one of the basic thoughts we had is to figure out on a high level where we need to go. And to do that, we recalled when we started driving what made us good drivers. And it's definitely not passing the test, the driving test, knowing the rules. It's after a few years when we got some experience, we got to be wise drivers. It's a driver that anticipates and understands the complexity of all the possibilities and has the right intent to drive in a certain way. And to some degree, this is where tech should go, trying to figure out not to be smart, but to actually be wise. And that's what brings me to the last part, which is a company called OTTO. It deals with trucking, and we are helping it creating a kit that will actually be augmenting current trucks and will create a very unique experience that for people from the outside will look a little crazy. So this is where it goes. That's it. Thank you very much.